Hello, how are you? You are welcome again to Solo English with correction of the exam given in 2018. We are going to continue with didactics. Of course, it is not finished. I have already corrected some exercises, maybe 3 or 4 exercises in didactics and writing and so on. So there is still an exercise given in didactics, and I'm going to correct it today, and we are going to see what type of exercises were given and how to answer them, of course, and we will continue with more exercises. Okay, this is what we are going to see today. To look at Blackboard, we have choose the correct option. So usually we have multiple choice. We have A, B, C, D, and we choose one. Of course, we should be convinced about which one is correct and which one is false. So, an example of a substitution exercise is an exercise in which students, we have choices. A, read a story and answer questions using the simple past. B, fill in gaps with the correct form of the given word. C, put the verbs between brackets in the correct form. D, use there is instead, there are instead of there is in given sentences. So here, before answering this, before choosing the correct answer, we should understand what is substitution exercise. Of course, in methodology, and we have in audio-lingual method, in PPP method, we use substitution drill or substitution exercise. Substitution, it means we replace a word by another word. The teacher, when he is teaching or is practicing the structure in the classroom, he is substituting the word. He is maybe replacing the word. So we should know the word. As I told you before, we should know some terms, some words. They should be clearly given, okay? Or an example of substitution exercise. So let's see. Now, A, read a story and answer questions using the simple past. It has nothing to do with substitution exercise here. Filling gaps with the correct form of the given word. This is an exercise given in grammar okay? Put the verbs between brackets in the correct form. No, it's not correct. So use there are instead of there is. So when the teacher is practicing singular plural, he shifts from singular to plural. He replaces there is by there are to see students what to do with it. So this is the answer. It is D. This is a second question. So we are going to see the word given here. What is the key word? In choral repetition. So what is choral repetition? What I said before, that we should know the terms. The choral repetition activity, students, A, write down what the teacher is saying before they re-say it. B, repeat what the teacher is saying together as a whole class. So we should read the instructions carefully. Orally repeat what the teacher is saying one after another. D, try to remember and repeat what the teacher said during the last session. Well, what is choral repetition? It is when the students repeat together after the teacher, when the teacher is practicing, is explaining, and sometimes they say, repeat, the whole class repeats. So, what is the answer? Let's see. Write down what the teacher, write down. We should stop here because it is not writing, it is oral activity. So, this is false. Write down what the teacher is saying before re-say it. Re-say it again. No, false. B, repeat what the teacher is saying together as a whole class. So look at the key, the answer here. The whole class together. These are the key words. So B is correct. C, orally repeat. Of course, it is oral. what the teacher is saying one after another. No, this is false, one after another. So try to remember and repeat what the teacher said during the last session. No, this is false. So the correct one is B. Verse 3, the concept washback effect is used to refer. So, number 1, an effect of not having enough prior knowledge on the text comprehension. B, the effect of an assessment procedure on learning and teaching. C, the negative effect of thinking about one's past on learning. And D, the positive effects of memorizing vocabulary on language performance. So to answer this question is what is washback effect? Washback is used in testing. So is there a word which refers to testing in the choices we have, in the sentences we have? Let's see. An effect of not having enough prior knowledge on text comprehension, so it has nothing to do with testing here. It is not used. So this is not correct. Okay, this is minus, not correct. The effect of an assessment. Assessment means testing. An assessment procedure on learning and teaching. Look at C. The negative effect of thinking about one's past on learning. So we talk about learning in the past, but the negative effect, when we use washback, it can give negative effect, it can give positive effect. So here in B, in C and D, we have the negative effect, the positive effects. The positive effects of memorizing vocabulary on language performance. So here the word refers to both negative and positive. But here it refers to B, the effect of an assessment procedure on learning and teaching. It is B. That's the correct answer. The others are not correct because there is something which it has nothing to do with testing or assessment. Another exercise, so a follow-up of the unsatisfactory performance of learners in a diagnostic test is to A. Retest the learners using the same items again in order to help them perform better. B. Sort out students into different ability groups and test them again using different testing formats. C. Prepare a new test with different items and administer it to the whole class. And D. Design activities which focus on problematic areas before teaching new content. So here we have diagnostic test, problem of diagnostic test. What is the purpose of diagnostic test is to know what students know and what they don't know. What is it is missing from their knowledge and what is the need to study. So retest again, we don't retest. So one we read the first sentence, it is false. Retest. We don't test it again. Okay? So false. B. Sort out students into different ability groups and test them again using different testing formats. It's the same. We don't repeat the test. After diagnostic tests, we start to teach something, to give something, what is missing. So here, false. Prepare new test with the different items. It's the same. We don't prepare another test after diagnostic test. Okay. Design activities which focus on problematic areas. Problematic areas, it means students need to learn something, need to revise something maybe before teaching new content. So we shouldn't go further just to see what they need to study and we give them more structures and more instructions. I have here two questions. First, before we finish the questions we have already given. So when a learner does not have the necessary word to describe an object or talk about concept. It tries to use a whole phrase or sentence to describe the concept in a different way. It happens sometimes when we don't know the exact word, the exact concept, or the exact synonym of a word. What do? We go around the sentence. We give different words, okay? An example is saying the thing we use to eat food with. For spoon, for example, imagine someone doesn't know a spoon or chopsticks, for example. The thing we use to eat food with, right? This is, which of the following communication strategies is the learner using? Code switching, word coining, borrowing, circumlocution. This word, circumlocution, it is euphemism in literature, for example. When we explain a word, and the word maybe sometimes it is a taboo word. We don't say the word exactly. Like in Arabic, when we say al-maut, we don't say al-maut, we say al-wafat. So here we try just to change the word. Okay, we call it circumlocution. And code switching, you know, when we use two languages, sometimes we use code switching. Word coining, it is the correct answer. We coin the word for the word spoon, for example. Okay, we try to find the exact word. And the last question, using a word or construction in a meaningful and communicative sequence is called brainstorming, sequencing, contextualizing, and pacing. So here, what is the meaningful and communicative sequence? Of course, when we read in methods and approaches, we have to know the terms and the words exactly, so it is contextualizing. When we use context to maybe for reading or for writing or for listening too. So for brainstorming, it is an exercise, it's an activity given before reading or before listening to prepare students. Okay, and sequencing, there is sequencing in writing. When we write paragraphs, sequencing of ideas, sequencing of paragraphs, okay? And pacing, we say slow or quick. When the teacher is slow or the teacher is quick in his teaching, we talk about pace. So it is contextualizing. Ladies and gentlemen, see you again with another correction and more information. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that you will benefit from these videos, and see you next time again.